Today, I'm going to show you how to set up your TP-Link router. And before starting, if this video helps, please support me. I donate half of all donations to shelters. You can find more details in the description below. So the first thing that you will need to do is to turn on your router. Take the power adapter. Plug one end of the power adapter into an outlet and the other into the router. Then press the power button. When the router is turned on, the power indicator will be lit. It may take a few minutes for it to completely turn on. Next, plug the cable from your internet service provider or from your modem into a special internet port. This port is usually labeled as internet, and usually it has a different color. Each cable should be inserted until it snaps into place. Now you need to restore the router to its factory settings. Hold down the reset button on the router for 10 seconds. Wait until the indicator lights on the router start flashing. At times, this button is found inside the router casing to prevent it from being pressed by mistake. In this case, use a slim object to press it down. The router will restart, and the settings will go back to their original factory defaults. Plug one end of the Ethernet cable provided with the router into one of the LAN ports. And plug the other end of the cable into your computer's Ethernet port. Wait a few minutes for connection. Great, we've connected the router to your computer. Now you will need to set it up. But first, let me show you another way to connect the router if you do not have an Ethernet cable or your computer does not have an Ethernet port. Connect the router to the power adapter and cable from your internet provider. This will enable Wi-Fi. If your router is new and hasn't been set up, your Wi-Fi network will be named after the router. Your router has a unique Wi-Fi network name and password printed on a sticker. Connect to it. Awesome, you've connected to the router. Now let's get it set up. First, open your web browser and visit the URL you see on the screen. Use the URL bar instead of the search bar. At the beginning, you will see a form with a login and password. Usually, it is admin and admin. If these credentials are wrong, then find label on your router. The credentials are often printed on the bottom of the device. If none of this works, it means that your router has already been configured and someone has changed the login and password. If you can't find out the login credentials, just reset the router to factory settings. And then log into the router's personal cabinet using the standard credentials. If your router settings do not look like mine, it means that your router has a different firmware. I made a video for every firmware type. You can find all the links in the description down below. I want to warn you right away that there are many firmware versions and they may differ slightly. But don't worry, you will succeed, just watch the video and follow the instructions. First, you need to create a username and password for your personal account. Some firmware versions might skip this step, but if the form appears, fill in all the details and make sure to remember them. Or better yet, write them down somewhere safe. You'll need them the next time you log into your router settings. Now run the quick setup to manually configure your internet connection and Wi-Fi settings. Just a heads up, Depending on your firmware version, some steps might look different or appear in a different order. But don't worry, you've got this. Just follow along with the video. On the first screen, select your time zone. If you're not sure which one to choose, pick any option and click Next. On the next page, select your internet connection type. You can usually find this information in your contract with the internet provider. If you don't know what to select, try clicking the Auto Detect button. The router will attempt to figure out your connection type. If it doesn't work, just choose Dynamic IP. Based on the connection type you selected, the next page might look a bit different from mine. If you picked Dynamic IP, go ahead and select one of the options shown. If your internet provider gives access only to a specific MAC address, you'll need to clone the MAC address of your main computer. If you're not sure, just choose Do Not Clone MAC Address. In most cases, cloning it isn't necessary. But if you still can't connect to the internet after the quick setup, try running it again, and this time, clone the MAC address. On the next page, set a name and password for your Wi-Fi network. You'll see one or more available Wi-Fi bands. If you see multiple options, enable them all and set a name and password for each one. Once you've entered the credentials, click the Next button. Now you'll see a summary of all the settings you've just entered. Click the Save button and wait while the settings are applied. If you were connected to the router using Wi-Fi, you'll need to reconnect to the updated network. Click the Next button. Nice job! You've completed the quick setup. Now press the Test Internet Connection button. If it's failed, double-check that all the cables are connected correctly. Then try rebooting your router. Click the reboot icon in the top right corner. After the reboot, wait a few minutes. Sometimes the changes take a bit to apply and the internet will come back. If after all that you still don't have internet, open the Basic tab. Then click Internet. And then choose Clone MAC Address. Save the settings. Reboot your router again. After a couple of minutes, check your internet connection. If internet still doesn't appear, contact your internet service provider. He will tell you what type of connection you have and what other settings you need to do. That's all. If you found my video helpful, please support my work. Half of all donations I send to animal shelters. All details are in the description down below.